Okay, let's get started here there, folks. Okay, there we go. Okay. Sorry about the little scuffed intro there. Um, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Uh, welcome if you're watching this video for the first time on YouTube. Uh, I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and we are going to be getting back into some Pega studying. Now, um, we got one last challenge before the end of the low code ad builder mission. So just to kind of show you where we are at here. We are currently working on this challenge here. So we have the mission exercise that's next. And then after that, we have the mission test. So tomorrow's stream, we're going to be going fairly, for a pretty long time on our Pega study. Um, so this will probably cut into the development and the video release, which I might have to just kind of cut out anyway. I may go straight from Pega studying into the Warframe, but it might actually cut into the Warframe stream as well. So, um, but that's what it is, if you want to proceed, in life, you have to, sometimes make sacrifices. So, um, and I do need to get my certification. So, we're going to kind of continue working on that to try to get to that point, where I can get those certifications and everything's going to be good. Um, um, So we'll see what happens on that. Okay. Um, Now, if you're watching me for the first time, whether it's on YouTube or um, you're watching me on stream right now, um, I'm gonna go into my normal beginning caveats that I like to put at the very beginning here, so no one ever has the wrong impression. Um, if you've seen these before, obviously feel free to skip ahead if you want. But um, I want to make sure that everybody knows that I am not endorsed by Pega. This is not something that Pega asked for me to do. This is my own journey to get the uh, system architect certification and maybe even the business architect certification as well. Okay. This is my own endeavor on that. Okay. Um, I am not a Pega trainer, so don't make the assumption that I'm going to be having all the answers. Okay. If you want to, feel free to ask a question either in chat or in the comment section. Go right ahead. I'll try to answer it the best I can. Um, if I can't answer it, then I'll see if I can find. I do know some people that do work on Pega all the time, so I can always reach out to them to maybe try to go to that particular question and try to help you out. Okay. Um, but this is not an instructor-led training. Okay. Um, I do recommend that you do, if you have the money for the instructor-led training, go ahead and try to do that. Okay. Um, you know, while my instructor-led training was not the best, I did not have a great experience during, well, me and the others, I'm not alone on my criticism of our instructor. Um, while we didn't have like the best in the instructor-led training, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have a good experience yourself. Okay, I would hope that you would have, some decent experience with an instructor-led training. So, I would suggest go ahead and do that. I mean, if especially if you can do it through Pega, because I mean, at least through Pega, if you're getting the training through Pega directly, then at least you can contact Pega and say, listen, this instructor is not helping us, and they should do something more than how how our instructor-led training was, you know. So, um, so just bear that in mind, okay? I'm not an authorized training associate or anything along those lines, so don't think of me as such, okay? I mean, I haven't even gotten any certifications for it. So while I might have had some experience developing in Pega, I don't have an official certification yet. Okay, that's what I'm working on. So just wanted to put that out there so people know, you know, what you're getting into on these videos. Okay, even I will have some questions, and I would hope that if anybody from Pega or any individuals that does have their certifications or are trained in the senior lead developer certifications, you know, I would hope that they would be able to answer my questions. Like for example, when I was struggling for the data model, you know, um, I have a couple of videos on the data model module, and I was struggling during that. So I would hope that someone could take a look at those videos, on my YouTube channel and try to help me understand this a little bit better because, I was having some trouble. So, um, so yeah, but that's it. We're going to go ahead and get into the challenge here. I've already initiated the instance, so we're sending emails during case processing. So the mayor of my town wants users to receive email updates when the reported issue is resolved. So once again, we have our username and password. Let me go ahead and launch the instance now and put in username and password. There we go. Log on in. That'll take a while. And while it's loading, I want to mention the fact of this video here, the challenge walkthrough. Um, I would suggest that you do use this as kind of like a last resort, like maybe you're struggling during one of the detailed tasks and you need to see how they go about doing those particular steps. Review this video. I'm not going to be showing you this, you know, uh, um, you know, use it for your own benefit. Okay, so and I'm hoping that, while I'm doing, my dashboard, these modules and missions and so on and so forth, I would hope that you, the viewer, are also doing it as well. Okay. Um, I mean, unless you are more of like an auditory learner and you just pick up everything that I'm saying, then sure. I mean, I guess that works, but um, I would suggest that you would also kind of go through like the questions and the quizzes and stuff like that to kind of reaffirm, what I went through and what you're going through as well. So just bear that in mind. Okay. So um, so in the App Studio navigation pane, click Case Types and Service Request to display the case life cycle. So here we are. Don't need to save that. We are going to go to case types. Service request. And okay, come on. Okay. In the resolution stage, select Send Repair Confirmation step to display the configuration pane on the right. Okay, so we're looking for the Send Repair Confirmation. So, our service request is taking a while to load. What is going on here? Yeah, that was weird. Had a little bit of problem connecting to the case lifecycle on that one. Okay, and now it was saying go to the case lifecycle. So once it's done loading, there we go. Okay, so resolution stage, send repair confirmation. That's what it was mentioning right there. So in the configuration pane from the first send to list, select field. We're having a little bit of delay here, it feels like. Okay. From the second send to list, select request or email to set the send to value. In the subject field, enter your service request has been completed. Okay, so second request or email. Subject, we put that. Service request has been completed. Display punctuation and text labels in fields such as email subject line, enclose the text and punctuation in quotes. So, um, so let's see. It does not automatically set it for me. So, even though I've seen it set that like before in like like in other parts. So it's a little odd that that's not being automatically done for you again, but whatever. Okay, so um, under message content, click compose to display the compose message window. So it's this one right there. So message content compose. Okay, and the rich text editor, enter the following text to compose the email message. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. Now, bear in mind, okay, they are using the arrows with the PYID and the PX create date time. So bear those in mind there. So compose, and we put those values down. So all right, now you can click the insert property icon to select a property from the list. Select the case ID for PYID and create date time for PX create date time. If the insert property icon is not visible, log out and then log back in. Oops, I skipped a step. So, um, so here we are. Now, where was the icon? That one right there. Okay, so you need to select that. And case ID. Oh, wait. But I don't necessarily need to click the insert property to create the date time for these. If you have it visible here, maybe next time mention the fact that you need to, you know, put in like maybe brackets here and say, you know, um, use insert property to insert case ID here. Use insert property to insert create date time here, or something along those lines. Don't use the actual um, value insert property, because yeah, I mean, what's the point of me? What's the point of me using that if you don't like have me do that? you know, you're kind of doing it for me, and that. I mean, granted, they did mention the fact that enter the following text, so they're trying to get you to type it all out, but at the same time, it's like it's easier to just copy and paste. So now, I will mention though, okay, bear this in mind, okay, that copy and paste can also lead to a lot of problems. So, um, you will, I recommend if you ever do a copy and paste to enter in text into something else, okay, copy some text, put it somewhere else, you review it, because especially if you're doing code, right? Because um, maybe you need to change a variable in that, in what you paste into, right? So, you might be like, oh yeah, I'm using the same kind of structure, but I need to change the text values or the variables, right? But if you don't change those variables, then, well, once again, you're going to kind of create yourself some bugs, or you're going to cause yourself some undue headaches later on. Um, Especially if you don't really like test out what you just did until like much later. So, or, um, you might cause like other teammates problems because they might use the functions that you're working on, right? So they might try to access your functions and go, hey, I'm getting back an error message, or hey, my numbers aren't coming up correctly. What's going on here? That kind of thing. Make sure that you review, your copy and paste, because that could cause you some headaches later. So, okay. Click Done to complete the message composition and display a message preview. Click Save to complete the step configuration. Number of configuration issues decreases from 1 to 0, and the configuration issues icon disappears. So we click on Done, we click on Save, and this will go from 0 to 1, or 1 to 0, and will disappear, supposedly. Once it handles the processing. When it's done. There it is. All right. Okay, so now we're going to be confirming the work. In the service request case type, click Save and Run to run a new case. Advance the request updates view, entering the values for any required fields. Select the request updates checkbox to receive an email notification when the issue is resolved. In the requester email, enter your email address. I'd rather not. Um, Click Create to submit the service request, and the suggestion section of the case to the right of the schedule repair. Click Go to display the schedule repair view. Enter values for all required fields and click Submit. In the To-Do section of the case to the right of Perform Repair, click Go. Enter values for all required fields and then click Submit. In the resolution stage, if you see empty work item handle, click Actions rather than Refresh to refresh the case. All right. Yeah, let's go through all this here. So save and run. And they want me to enter in an email in the request updates. So I'm thinking I'll just use this email address right there. Although I do hope that they're using a like an email address that isn't out there at all. Now I'm gonna assume that there's no like email.com webpage. Matter of fact, I'm kind of curious about that. Uh, okay, so I went to email.com and it is somewhat of a site. So not not really that big of a deal or anything along those lines, but you know, they might want to consider using a like a Pega address or something like that. You know, from Pega Academy, create like a default Pega email account that people can just kind of send messages to, just to kind of, you know, um, be um, a collector of these or something like that. So, all right. Um, don't need to worry about that. Blocking my location. We're going to use the Cambridge one again. Don't need to worry about that. And then, of course, we have the requester email. So, um, select the request updates checkbox to receive email notification when an issue is resolved. In the requester email field, enter your email address. Um, so we're gonna request updates, and we're gonna say default at pega.com. Because I don't, while that right there might not actually go anywhere, I don't really know. There might indeed be a T Havens at email. Okay, that might actually be getting a whole lot of spam email from Pega. So that's why I'm thinking, yeah, maybe you guys should use a dummy Pega email, you know, account in there. So to click rate to submit the service request. Um, yeah, so here's that. Uh, Click go, enter values in all required fields, click submit, and to do case section of the case to write a perform repair, click go, and then enter values, click submit. Okay, so we're just basically kind of skipping over, the steps that were in review, right? So we click go. We're doing a due date, click submit, and we click go for the perform repair. Then we enter in notes here, and then click submit. All right. In the resolution stage, if you see the empty work item handle, click actions refreshed to refresh the case. The section of the case to right of the get approval, click go to display the approval view. Click approve to approve the repair and send the email to the requester. So go. What did I say? Actions refresh. There we go. Okay, we're going to approve. All right. Now, to the right, expand the utility pane. Under the documents that have files and documents, verify that the email is displayed. So, okay, we're having some problems with the refresh. There it is. Your service request has been completed. Email. If the email is not immediately displayed in the utility pane, refresh the case from the Actions menu. Click the Your Service Request has to display the email message. Okay, pop-up has been blocked, apparently. Okay, 1 second. Let me go to webcam here real quick. Make sure that um, there we go. Okay, let me go back to live. And it's not showing that particular window. Let me see. There we go. All right. So as you can see, um, we have sent, you know, um, I mean, yeah, this particular day at this, well, not exactly, my time, but whatever. It's their own internal server kind of thing, and obviously it's um, Eastern Standard Time. That's fine. So from default at pegasample.com to default at pega.com, your service request has been completed. You have addressed the issue not quite the exact as this one. Um, a little bit of a problem here. Now, here's yeah, let me switch this back to um, there we go. This is a little problematic if it's not showing the ID or create date time, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. So you know how I was like talking about how, hey, wait, that insert property isn't really doing what you've already did the insert property. It's already kind of showing that there, right? Um, Maybe it hasn't really associated these with the um, with the particular property. So maybe if I do that, click done, click save. Let's try to do the save and run again and see if we can actually get an email that's actually proper this time around. So okay, there we go. There we go. Just gonna kind of speed run through these steps here. If I if that didn't really happen there, but whatever. Prove. There it goes. Having a little bit of a problem not showing the files and documents there. That's a bit worrisome there, but all right. So let me bring up the window now. All right, so there you go. So that was the issue. For some reason, even though including the all right, as you can see, we have the ID. That's correct, and the date and time. That's also correct. Um, Even though it's using the server time and not the um, my time. So that's something that you'll have to kind of deal with. But um, so here's the thing. When I copied and pasted the everything that was being shown here, with the text was exactly the same. So the so clearly, you know, the there needed to be a little bit more on, definitely needed to be a little bit more on those labels there because you need to do the insert property in these because otherwise you would just put in the text and that's it. Okay. And obviously their instructions here for um, for this inserting property here isn't enough, because just doing a copy and paste of this won't do the job. You have to, it's not you can, it's you must click the insert property to enter them in because otherwise it's not going to insert those values in. Um, so um, all right. Um, Here, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing, do a copy and paste and get the email to show up again, right? Well, okay. First off, let me go ahead and verify the challenge because it should be working. It should confirm everything is working properly, right? There shouldn't be any errors in this because I've confirmed that everything is being referenced properly, right? Okay, so it did. So, we're copying this and we are going to go ahead and paste it right back in here, right? So, um, these do not have the um, okay, weird. These don't have the properties set for them yet, right? So we're just going to go ahead and click on done and we're going to go ahead and save just for the hell of it. Then I'll go ahead and do the save and run. And we'll see if we get the same problem. And if we get the same problem, then I'll go ahead and um, clip the email block there, or take a screenshot of that particular window and I'll send it in to them because obviously that's a problem. You know. Okay. Prove. Okay. I'm gonna have to do an action refresh. There we go. Okay, just to confirm to you, this is what I'm seeing here right at the moment. Okay, so, I'm not like, I'm not trying to like cheat you guys or anything along those lines. I'm not, trying to make things up for you or anything along those lines. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm getting. So, yeah. Um, we're gonna go ahead and kind of maybe. Uh, I can't necessarily get a large chain of the Um, can't really get the address very much here, but I'm going to go ahead and clip this. There we go. Because I want to send this into, let's see. All right. Now that that's done, we'll go ahead and move back to the Pega App Studio here, close that down, and we're done with that, obviously. So we are going to go ahead and suggest edit here because um, we had some issues with the images and the like, so all right. So uh, in composing the email, I did a copy and paste of the text that you gave above. However, the properties were not set for the PIID or the daytime. I'll just use ID. Um, Found out that I had to um, uh, hover over um, the labels that you gave and assign the properties through the window that you showed. It did not do this automatically, so best inform the whoever reads this challenge next time knows that a simple copy and paste does not work as shown in the image provided. Um, Also, the user will need to refresh the page to see the attachment show up. Um, Otherwise, um, the the window will remain blank till the refresh. Attachment show up at the end of the challenge. There we go. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, they've already mentioned that. Never mind. I was being stupid, but whatever. They already addressed that. But yeah, that is the challenge on that. Um, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Okay, so um, oh, what I did want to do though was um, there was some extra steps that was being added in in the module prior. Um, that they were basically saying, hey, you can, additional tasks for sending email during case processing, right? So, um, let's go ahead and go through that right now, right? So, in the navigation pane of App Studio, click Case Types. Click on the case type you want to open, right? So, in the casework area, click the Settings tab. So, here we are, in the case type, right? Service request. We click on the Settings. In the Settings panel, click Notifications. So here we want to go down to Notifications. In the email notification section, select the email user when the assignment is routed to work list checkbox. So email user when the assignment is routed to work list. Yeah, it's email, not necessarily notification. It might be um, it might be something else for, yeah, only for mobile app. So, if you want to be notified when the assignment is routed to a work list, then you can do that for the mobile app. So, um, define the existing content of your message, compose a new email, use an existing email. All right, so you can do custom, your subject line, and you compose your message, or you can use an existing one, um, which in the message list, like the message you want to see. Um, I mean, this is apparently the one that is currently um, the only one that's being offered right at this moment in time. Um, and then of course, make sure that you set up your subject line how you want to on that. In a subject field, enter an email title by entering a string expression. You can reference field names and title to make the heading more dynamic and meaningful. For example, the case blank has been assigned to you. So, and you want to use the quotation marks here. So here, let me grab all that. So there you go. So the reason why Um, so, for those of you that might not be aware of what's going on here, let me try to explain it to you. Okay. This is a common um, styling of how to um, concatenate a string in Java. Okay. Okay. So basically, this right here, okay, is what you would consider a string in Java. Okay. You're putting it in quotes, and it basically repeats the exact same statement. The case space. You know, at the very beginning of that string. Okay. Um, and then, because you're using the quotation marks, it copies the exact same thing. It copies everything that's there, much like it was a normal string. Okay. If I do something like um, this, it's this isn't going to mean anything. Okay. You know how we were doing the properties, from before? Even if I was trying to use that there, it wouldn't really mean anything because it's all contained within the quotation marks of the string. It's gonna copy this character to character, letter by letter, exactly the same. Okay, so you have to be careful what you put inside the string, right? So, um, and then you have, same over here, same thing, this end part of the string here is has been assigned to you period is all like the end string of this combined string. Okay, I'll explain the combination in a little bit here, but you have that portion of the string. So think of it as like you have one box with the case and another box with has been assigned to you. Now, you could combine them together. You know, I could I could say remove that, and it's perfectly fine. It works. Okay, It'll be just one box combined with each other. To be the case has been assigned to you, and that's it. Okay. Um, and you can definitely get away with that if you want to. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to actually add some property values in there, then much like the PYID or the case type ID, then you're going to want to add in these plus symbols in here. Okay. So these plus symbols basically mean, hey, take this first string and then add it to whatever's like there in the middle. Okay. In this case, it's the .pyid. And then you have another plus symbol that basically says, okay, these two boxes here, the case and the PYID, add on an additional box of has been assigned to you. Okay. So it's trying to combine all three of them together into one box. Okay. Much along the lines of, how I said, if I remove this, that becomes one box instead of the two that was before, right? But in this particular case, we're adding a second box in the middle there, okay? In between those other two, we're basically splitting those two boxes further apart. So now we have box 1 and a box 3 in this case. And now we're adding in this box number 2 in there that will contain the .py So when I do that, Pega is going to be looking at that and going, oh, okay, you're not wanting me to use it as like a string. You're basically saying, hey, you don't want the string of .pyd. You want the actual property or the value contained within that PYID. Okay, so um, So if I, for example, if I was to get rid of these quotation marks here, okay, all this would be considered one string value. Okay, it would be all one string value. All this, the pluses and everything, would be shown exactly how it would be in the subject line. Okay, it would not be replaced whatsoever. Okay, that .pyd would not be replaced by the SR3. Okay, wouldn't happen. Okay, so you need those quotations in there to basically say that, hey, um, you know, this this part right here, has to be handled in a special fashion. Okay, it needs to be looked at differently in Pega. You know, we're looking for a specific property value for that versus the other two boxes of string. The box one, box three. That's just a string. There's nothing else contained inside them. So it's gonna be looking at these and going, okay, you just want everything that's inside the box. Okay, that's fine. We'll throw them in. It won't care what's inside them. Okay, once it sees those quotation marks, it's just gonna go, oh, okay, well, we'll use whatever's inside of them. It's not really gonna look. So, so that's why you have to kind of be careful when um, setting up values there. Okay. Um, so if you create a custom message in the message section, click compose and then edit the message in the rich text editor. Compose your own message. Populate your email message with text from a template. Include the value of a field from your case in your email. And provide instant access to the case from your email. So if you want to do custom, compose message. So, you have your properties there that you can do. You have the link that you can do. You can choose from different templates, to, you know, to fill out, you know, whatever, whatever you would like to do. But, bear in mind, make sure that you set up your properties here, because if it's incorrect, if you don't insert your properties properly, then it's going to be a little problematic. Now, what's interesting here is the fact that I did the case ID here for the PY label, and well, now it got inserted as PYID there. So, be careful. um, but here's you have the link icon, link to a current case. You have the insert property icon. So yeah. And then of course you click on save to save everything that you've done here, for the case type. So, I could just kind of do save, and um, whenever the assignment is routed to a work list, it will send these emails off. Now, I didn't put in a message here, so one would think that it would like put a little, warning message up here saying, hey, your message hasn't been put in. There's nothing here. So one would think, but all right. But that's it. That's where we're gonna go ahead and close on down for Pega at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over to webcam, And go and close that down. Now, um, we're going to be we're done for with our Pega at this point. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to just chatting and working on publishing videos and the like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just chatting. There we go. All right. So that's taken care of. Now, um, okay. And let's get into the studio here. And let's work on our videos. Okay, I did not upload the yesterday's video, so that's not great. Let me go ahead and resolve that. Keep on forgetting to do that. All right. So it's going to work on those real quick. Um, Now, thankfully, the Pega video um, has been uploaded, so I mean, there's no real concern there. Um, it's been uploaded for today, so um, this is just for tomorrow's Pega video. Now, like I said, um, I'm gonna need to um, do an extra long stream tomorrow for the Pega studying. So just kind of bear that in mind. It's going to be a longer process to go through the entire exercise. So, because I'll probably be talking through it all and all that jazz. Maybe even kind of conversing about, what we learned and, any hiccups that we might experience or whatnot. So, okay. But I also have the um, anniversary stream up finally. Those are available to be. Well, I mean, I can see them in my list of videos that I need to kind of process right at this moment in time. Um, so um, so I need to handle that. Get those like taken care of and uploaded. So All right. We're gonna be playing some World of Warships later today. Oh, I forgot to stop the recording. Silly me. Sorry about that, folks. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, apologies on not stopping the recording. But you know, feel free to do the normal YouTube ending. Like, subscribe, comment, share, bell notification. Oh my gosh, there's so much for the YouTube. But I mean, it all helps out. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording right now, though. Take care.